happy Saturday. Or sorry, I'm like Saturday. Anyway, happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having a glorious Sunday. If you don't know who I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. And if you want to learn a little bit more about me, you can check out my information box down below. You can check out my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com. You can check out James and I's witchy shop, Desert Cauldron. Or if you are looking to work with a high vibe and crystal companion, you can check out James's shop, Light of Riga, on Etsy. And the link for that is down below. All right, so we had some minor technical difficulties before our chat started today. I was gonna take you guys over to the surf and turf table, my little surfboard table, where usually I get really good internet, but like all the internet just shut down. It's not like there was another network or it's like you have no bars. It's like I wasn't even on planet Earth. It was just like 3 dots. I was like, okay, and it's like roaming, and I'm like, did I enter Mars? So anyway, I've come back to my normal spot, and I guess we'll just do our card pulls over here and our Ouija board session. I think you guys are gonna really love that. We have our friend Susie in the house. She said the thumbnail is really pretty. Blessed Mabin. That's right. We have a lot of stuff coming up, you guys. So we have a full moon in Pisces coming up. We have a lunar eclipse coming up. The Schumann resonance, I keep saying Schumann residence, but the Schumann resonance has been off the charts. Yeah, we also have Mabin coming up on Saturday, and maybe that's why I was saying happy Saturday. I was like thinking of Mabin. But you know, technically it's like celebrated 20th through like the 22nd, 23rd. As like the beginnings, and then it's just kind of celebrated all season long, just like I'm still kind of like celebrating our previous season, but you know, hey. Okay, Lily's here. Hello, Patrick. Hello. Susie says, loving the hat and dress. Well, thank you so much. It's my little top. I would have liked it if it was a full-on dress, but so yeah. Let's get down and have some fun. Let me have a little sip of water here. Whew. I will tell you, hiking from one end of the property to the other, it keeps us in shape, I will say, going up and down all the hills and everything. Okay, so today, what we are doing, we have our weekly reading, which we are going to do, and I highly encourage you guys to chime in with your messages and your downloads, whether you guys are pulling cards along with us, maybe you have a pendulum or some runes, or maybe you have a Ouija board, or maybe you're doing some good old-fashioned channeling and bringing those messages down, talking to your higher selves. Anybody who's watching the replay, I highly suggest that you read what the chat is saying, because there's a lot of wonderful messages there, and I think that it just creates a more well-rounded reading for the week. Instead of just hearing what my higher self has to say, you can hear about what all these lovely higher selves have to say, and kind of put it all together. So we have our weekly reading. And then for the people who are new, I always put out a poll for my patrons, which love you guys. Thank you for all the support. My YouTube members, thank you for all the support. And by the way, you know who my YouTube members are because they have a little colored kitty cat head right next to their name. Thank you to all my moderators who have the wrench of destiny, the wrench of power next to their name. And of course to all of my subscribers, everybody who comes in to our live chats, comments on videos, all of that. Thank you for all of your support. But anyway, so I put out a poll with my patrons, my YouTube members, and I put a poll out on the YouTube public page, on my YouTube channel page. And so technically, if you are a patron or a YouTube member and there's something that you really want to vote on and see during the Sunday live chat, there's more of a chance that that's going to happen because there's the extra votes that go in. And oftentimes it does come down to my YouTube members and my patrons pushing that vote into something different. So today, what was voted on was a Ouija board session, and I have my little Ouija board here. Hold on, I have the little planchettes in my pocket. But you know me, I'm Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, so of course I have a cat Ouija board. Some of you guys have seen this before. I got this on Etsy. It's laser engraved from a wonderful shop on there, but it has the little yes, no, it's got the alphabet here, it also has a bunch of numbers, and then of course you have the goodbye down here. And then check out this little planchette. Isn't that just so adorbs? It's a little cat paw. I wanted it to slide easier, so I added a little bit of leather on the back, and yeah, it just seems to work really well. So we're going to get to that after our weekly reading. And then after that, if anybody still has like a burning question for them personally, you know, then I will do super chats and super stickers. I'll pull a card for you. And then afterwards we'll do our channeled guided meditation. So hey. And as I look up, oh, there's a little finchy couple. They're called house finches, but the boys, you could tell with who they are because they're all red right now in the face and the chest. And then, of course, the ladies aren't as vibrant in their color, but there's a boy up there at the top of the tree with his lady. Like, oh, they're so cute. Alrighty. Let's see here. Let's see. Susie says, is it a top? I was looking on my phone. Oh, it is a top. Oh, yeah. Yes. She said, a cool shades. Thank you. You know, I had shades just like this in, oh, what year was it? It was probably like 1997, 1998. And I took them to CIF finals for track and field, and which is the California Intercollegiate Federation, or Interscholastic Federation, sorry. Anyway, so I left my shades on the bleachers, never to be seen again. And then when I was an adult, I was like, you know what? I could just buy those sunglasses again. So here they are. Kayla, hello. Lily said, ooh, I said, that's so nice. Patrick says, OMG, Ouija board, yes. Nice. All right. So I have a few decks here with me today. I have the Dark Light Oracle. I have my Hush Tarot. And I have my Divine Muses Oracle. And let's see, let's use the Hush Tarot. Actually, you know what? Let's pull from the Divine Muses for like an overall theme card for the week. I encourage you guys to bust out your decks, like I said, or, you know, get yourselves ready for a little channeling for your, you know, with your messages. Yeah, feel free to add them into the chat. By the way, speaking of channeling, don't forget to stay tuned tomorrow, 8 a.m. for our Monday channeling, and this time we are channeling YouTube. So we did that last night, actually. That was really interesting. We actually had an Alpha Draconian come in. So that was, I'll just like leave it at that. So it was really interesting. We'll see what YouTube does with this once a video about YouTube is uploaded on the internet. So I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so let me put this down here. All right, Cute Comedy is saying, how are you? Hello. Oh, bots, let's see. Lily's like, did he sing? Not this time. Oh my goodness. Oops. And Aztec is here. Hello. All right. So let's see what theme card we have for this upcoming week. And by the way, while I'm slanging these cards, let me know what you guys have cooked up for your Sunday. Look, what are you guys doing today? You guys have anything planned for this week? For all of my pagan friends out there, do you have anything planned for Mabin? Anything for the full moon or the lunar eclipse or all this crazy energy that's going on? Do share. Okay, so we have the Muse of Art for our theme card this week. Janine is here. Hey, Janine. Okay, so let's tap into this. What does this say for our upcoming week? Okay, so it's just like we were saying. So there's a lot happening energetically. So whether we want to point to something physical, like the moon, or we want to point to this or that, just energetically speaking, there's a lot going on in the collective. So as much as the collective is shifting and changing, the matrix itself is shifting and changing, because as above, so below, light and shadow. Everything is always in equilibrium. So when one shifts, the other shifts as well. So what do you want to do with all of that energy? So some people, they're like, it's too intense. I just want to take a nap all week. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if, let's say we were to look at the energy like, I don't know, a beautiful palette of colors. What is it that you would want to create with that energy? I'm not saying that you need to go out and get real active and just totally involve the divine masculine, but maybe you want to think something up, think of something creative, maybe embody also that divine feminine. So maybe it's something that you just want to brainstorm. Maybe you just want to dress uniquely that day, and that's how you want to embody the energy. Maybe you want to write something down in your journal. Maybe for some people, it's just more 3D stuff. I just want to get some bills paid and, things like that. For others, it might be just working on manifestation. And that reminds me, I have to share something with you guys, but I'll do it after this reading. It's something that maybe you guys could employ for this upcoming week, as it does involve getting a little bit creative with your manifestations. So, all right. So we have that. Excellent. I like this muse of art. And let's see what the Hush Tarot has to say to kind of back up that information for this week. Oh, hey, thank you, Patrick. I'd be happy to pull a card for you after our reading here. Yeah, very interesting. I don't think, oh, hey, Sammy. Sammy, our little cottontail, is here. Hold on. Maybe while I pull the card, I'll just do this. There she is. Yes, Sammy, they see you. Such a cutie patootie. Okay. What else do we have? Sammy, what do we have cooked up for this week? You have cooked up for this week. You gonna hang out with Finger Sandwich? Finger Sammy? Okay, so while she's getting her drinks of water, I pulled Temperance. I pulled the Hermit. And I pulled the Queen of Cups. All right, our friend Ida is here as well. Hello, hello, Ida. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so while she continues to drink her wawa, dive into these three cards. And interesting that we have a court card and two majors. So like I said, it's going to be just the energy's already been intense. I mean, what am I saying? It's going to be intense. It already is intense. There already is a lot of energy surrounding us. So like I said, we could get real creative with it. We could do something spiritual with it. We could do something 3D with it. Bye, Sammy. So let me dive into these cards. All right. And now she's gonna munch on some globe mallow. Okay, so it feels like this would be a wonderful opportunity to work on balancing our divine feminine and our divine masculine. So this past week for me, um, I had some interesting things happen. So I had a massive bruise show up on my left knee. Like it was it's still covering basically my entire knee. It looks like that I need a brick wall. It's black now, but it was black and blue. It looked horrible. Now it's just like all black. My whole knee is like all black. And I was like, what did I do? Because not 1 hour earlier was I like lotioning my legs and there was no bruise there. But an hour later, I went out to have dinner, having not bumped my knee on anything. All of a sudden, there was a massive bruise on my knee. I was like, what the heck is this? So I also noticed that I had a massive like lump forming. Actually, it's still kind of there. Yeah, I still feel it. There's a lump forming on my right forearm here. It's all healed up now, but I had my knuckles started to look like they were bruised, like I literally punched somebody, but I know that I didn't. I mean, I probably would have known if I got into a fight with somebody, but it was all like, it was like raw right here as if I elbowed somebody. My knuckles were raw as if I had punched somebody. My knee was all like black and blue. I had this lump like I banged it on. So I was like, why did I look like I just got into a car accident? And I swear I didn't, you know, none of that was happening. So I tapped in and my higher self is like, because I had been doing so much healing on my divine masculine and my divine feminine, that, you know, growing up, I saw more the shadow aspect of the feminine and the shadow aspect of the masculine, you know, going into its shadow aspect, and living in that for so long. It's like, now I want to show you what, if that were to appear physically on the body, what that would look like. It says, so my higher self's like, do you see that? It's painful, right? You see the bruises, it hurts. It says, and that's because this is, you've been for so long just in that shadow aspect, a lot of times just enacting what other people who were also living in that shadow aspect, you took in that programming. And now that you're ready to release it, it's like all of those old scars, all of those old bruises, energetically speaking, are coming to the surface as physical like ailments. And I was like, whoa. And so as soon as I acknowledged that, it was like almost immediately the next day, my knuckles, they're fine now. There's no, I mean, you could see there's nothing wrong with my knuckles. The rawness in my elbow is gone. And so it was just that I needed to, I guess, see that lesson. You know, my higher self's like, I'm not trying to abuse you or hurt you. I'm just trying to say that sometimes we don't notice how much we hurt ourselves spiritually by living in those shadows. And so the only way for me personally, I guess, for it to like show me what was going on as if it were a physical thing is like, look how you hurt yourself. You know, that oftentimes when we just don't acknowledge our shadows, we really are just hurting ourselves, as well as, you know, maybe, you know, passing it off on to other people as well. But I was just like, whoa. And so the last thing to heal, I guess, is this little lump. It's almost gone now. And my knee, it's almost all healed up. So I was just like, whoa, what the heck? So it feels like this upcoming week with all of this energy, we have the ability as a collective to start healing that masculine, that feminine. And I'm not talking about people's genders, and I'm talking about men and women and, you know, so on and so forth. I'm talking about the energy, divine feminine energy, moving more into the light aspect of it, but also acknowledging what it's like to live in the shadow aspect of it. And the same for the masculine, you know, move into that light aspect of the divine masculine, but also what would it look like and what is it like to be in the shadow of that masculine. So some wonderful things to think about. I think I just really had to share that story with you guys because it was crazy. It's been a crazy journey, you guys. Let's see, let's go back here. Susie said, Sammy. And Patrick says, I love to know how far I am into the 5D and how far I am removing the ego. All right, so after we do our weekly reading, I will make sure to answer that question for you, my friend. Cosmic Conversations, hello, hello, how are you? Susie's like, so peaceful, that water. Sammy is so cute. Oh, she's adorbs. Susie was sending healing. Aw, thank you. She says, glad you are better. Patrick says, I have the same pain, weird things, really strange, lots of bruises, skin loss here and there, and lost my toenail in one, hit it, ripped it off, but no pain. Interesting. Yeah, I think a lot of us, because it's in my belief that 4D and 3D really are like merging at this point, because the 3D has raised its vibration to where it's now much more tangible into the 4D. So things that were energetic more in the 4D that we wouldn't have seen on our physical bodies, we now are seeing it. So I think that also helps us in our healing, because sometimes we don't do anything until our physical body tells us something, right? So it's the same thing like when we catch a cold, we get sick, and we know that in 3D they have these labels and they'll say, oh, you got sick because of a germ or a virus or whatever it may be. But that's just the 3D. But in 4D, what was your body truly trying to tell you? What's it trying to say? Something's out of balance. And the only way it could express itself and get your attention is through the physical body. So I think that's what's happening now is, some people are noticing stuff with their hair. That their hair is changing and doing weird things. Some people noticed it with their nails or their skin. I noticed it with bruises. Patrick is saying he's noticing the same things. And that's because it's like sometimes we just kind of, go along. Sure, we meditate and stuff, but sometimes we don't really pay attention to things until the body's like, hey, there's something going on here. All right, Bradley's here as well. Hello, hello. Donna, hey, how are you? Welcome. Susie, you you got a lot of work today. Oh my goodness, my friend. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's put that away. And then I want to what do I want to do first? Maybe we'll do Patrick's reading. We'll do some super chats and super stickers if you guys would really like. And then I want to share a breakthrough that James and I had. We'll see how it goes. Well, I'm just like, I'm not sure how the internet will take that. And then, yeah, we'll get into our Ouija board session. Yay! Cosmic says, yes, trying to balance masculine and feminine energy with coursework, learning to stop, but I love learning and knowledge. Me too, whoop, whoop. That's why we are here. Okay, so Patrick, let me grab a deck for you. So Patrick was wanting to know how far into the 5D he is right now, and how much ego has been removed. That, interestingly enough, James and I do something like that we call looking into ego numbers. And I mean, it just appears as numbers to me. It appears more like a feeling for him. And it's something that just kind of started happening like a few years ago. I would just see like a number above somebody's head. So when I looked in, I look at these numbers like 1 through 10, where 1 represents like 10%, 2 represents 20%, 3, 30%, so on and so forth. So like if we're looking into ourselves, and we say, what's our ego number today? Meaning, how much ego are we in today? How much have we removed? And it's never like a always fully descending number. It goes back and forth, But the point is, we're just trying to lower it, with our healing more and more, and trying to keep it lower. So sometimes we might look into it and it might say, well, now we're kind of in the teens, so it's kind of hard to say like 1 or 2, but it'll be like, today we're at like 19% ego, and then tomorrow it might be at like 17.5% ego, or, maybe it shoots back up to 20% ego like the next day. So, hence like a number 2. Sometimes we've noticed that when people are just like fully in their ego, just speaking from their ego, just everything ego, that they're usually at like a 9 or a 10, like 90% ego or 100% ego, which means that it's, the reason we're looking at this is because the ego is part of the matrix. So the more ego we're in, the more we understand that we are more easily controlled by that matrix. So if we're at, let's say, 90% ego, and it's very hard to hear the higher self because we're mostly living in that ego state, then it's so much easier for the matrix to turn you into like an Agent Smith, or to just get you to repeat like matrix programming. And it's nothing against that person. It's just, we're all on our different paths. And, for some people, they're at 90% ego to be a mirror for others, and that's part of their healing journey. That's, everybody's got their role here on earth. So I'm not dissing people who are at 90% or 100%. Everybody has their role here, and it's just nice to be able to see that mirror. So anyway, so Patrick, when I pull your card, I'm also going to look into your ego percentage, if that's okay. I think you're wanting me to look in anyways. So Susie said, 100, love this idea. What a good way to look at it. Yeah, there was a wonderful person that I did a channeling for yesterday, and I loved his outlook, that everything is just neutral. Everybody has their part to play. There are people that have to, they are negative polarity, and they embrace that to help the positive polarity. There are people who are positive polarity, they embrace that in order to help the negative polarity. There's people that, in their journey, they absolutely can't see what another person sees on their journey, and that's the beautiful thing. We need this type of friction sometimes. We need these differing points of view so that we can all help each other, in this journey. There are some people that want to stay here in the cube, and that is helpful for the collective. There are some people that want to get out of this cube. That is also helpful for the collective. And so all we can really be concerned about is our own personal journey, while at the same time understanding that any healing and anything we do helps the entire collective. So, it would do a lot of people a disservice if I went over to people and say, you have to embrace the light, you have to have zero ego, like you. I don't know their personal journey, so who am I to tell people what to do? All I can say is, this is my journey, this is what I'm doing, I am trying to be a mirror for you. That is all. And so, yeah, I found my person that I read for to be wonderful. We had a wonderful chat, so thank you. You know who you are if you're in the live chat today. All right. Oh my goodness, Steph. So Journal de Femme Moderne a Spiritual Steph, that is my best friend. She says, just to say I love you. I am going to respond to your messages. I have so much to tell you. There's a reason I've been MIA. I can't wait to tell you all about it. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Oh my goodness. Patrick's like, I know, I am in my ego now, so it's okay. Hey, no worries, no worries. Cosmic Conversations, like, that is so dope. Patrick's like, I learn a lot this way. Exactly. Hey, our buddy John is here. What's up? Okay. So Patrick, first, let's take a look at the first part of your question, which was, how much into the 5D are you? The fifth dimension. Oh, here we go, full moon. And what do you know? We have that full moon in Pisces coming up. That fishy, watery Pisces. It says dark lighted magic in the air. So let's dive into this. Okay, so your higher self wants you to know that technically, from a higher perspective, you are already in all dimensions at once. You are in 1D, 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D, all the way to 13D. You are the universe itself. You are in the next universe. We inhabit all these things, but where your consciousness is at this moment, as we speak and interact right now, we are in the 3D, right? And so it's saying that there are times when while inhabiting 3D, you are also inhabiting the fifth dimension, kind of going back and forth and bringing these messages down, bringing your healing down. And it says the reason you've been a lot more in the fifth dimension, usually in your meditations, and most of the time when you're out and about like on your nature walks and things like that, is because that's where part of your higher self already resides, while keeping in mind that the higher self is already everywhere all at once. You know, all fragments of us, past and present, all dimensions, all infinite timelines, just we're scattered everywhere. But in this conscious moment, you are inhabiting both the fifth dimension and the third dimension back and forth. And so it's been more often. So I guess if we wanted to break it down into like some 3D understanding, we could say that like 4 days a week you're in the 5D. It's not exactly like that. I'm just trying to make it so it's easier to understand, where basically a lot more of the time you are in that other type of energy while still physically inhabiting the third dimension. So it might be harder, sometimes it may seem, for you to interact with the third dimension. It may seem like you might have a little bit of a disconnect, and that's usually when you're inhabiting more of that fifth dimension. And in the fifth dimension, what we've come to realize, at least for some of the beings that we've talked to in the fifth dimension, is that it's more where the negative and positive polarity, the shadow and light, all of that is all inside, instead of in the external like it is in the third dimension, where, you know, everybody is a mirror for us. Well, in the fifth dimension, we're just the mirror for ourselves, and all of it is just more of an inwards journey. And although they still have things happening outwardly, it's less important as what happens in here. So you might notice yourself being closed off more sometimes when that happens. Not really, I don't want to say you don't care, but not just not relating or connecting to a lot of things outside yourself when you're in that fifth dimensional energy. Well, you still acknowledge it, you still feel something about it, but it's more, if this is in my sphere right now, what does this mean for me? If this person is here right now, what does this mean for me? So it's like very, very self-reflective. So I hope that that makes sense. Let's see, let's go back here. And then I want to look at the ego number. So let's see. Joy is here. Hello, hello. She's new here. Well, welcome. Says, my mother was a Capricorn. My father was a Taurus. I'm a Leo, third born of 3 girls, born on the third triple goddess life path 11. At 11:11 p.m. I have arrived. Oh my goodness. Dude, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. She said, the awakenings scare me sometimes because I get to see what others are waiting to be reviewed, but I'm not able to speak on it publicly. Only special people I'm allowed to even state it to. All right, interesting. And it says, you came to me sporadically. Well, we welcome you with open arms. Welcome, welcome. And then Susie just letting people know that we are doing super chats and super stickers. If you guys are interested in a card pull, that's why I'm pulling cards right now for our friend Patrick, because we are doing those super chats and super stickers. Joy says, I get so many synchronicities, I can never keep up with them, and I try to tackle at least 2 or 3 throughout the day, but I'm getting so many. Dude, same here. Like, it's like every 30 minutes. It's getting really crazy. John says, I feel like I walked in the middle. Is this the 5D channeling? Well, we were kind of talking about 5D a little bit. Crystal Clear says, OMG, I love your hat. Reminds me of when I lived in Santa Fe. Well, actually, I am about 30 miles from New Mexico, so I am not too far. And our buddy Marcus is here as well. He says, good evening for September 15th, 2024. You add up all of those numbers. Today's constellation is Shravan or Altair, Great Eagle, 2 Moon Aquarius, 3 Sun Leo, 4 Jupiter, Taurus, 5 Venus Virgo. Beautiful. And Joy says, it's hard to feel like I'm in a world speaking to a lot of people that are deaf. Well, you know, it's just that we're all in different vibrations and we're all in different places in our path. And for some of us, we're not meant to hear certain things. And some of us, we were meant to hear certain things. Are saying, God bless in the name of Jesus. You know what? Jesus is a pretty rad guy. So nice. Elfie said, at times it's not their time in this time to evolve. We need to let go of ego and bring more empathy. Exactly, exactly. Okay, so Patrick, let's look at your ego right now. All right, Patrick, 19%. It seems pretty flat. And remember that that number is just right now. It doesn't mean that that's always, it fluctuates. We're human, it happens. But yeah, at this moment that I'm tapping into you, you're at 19%. That's pretty good. Our friend Mina, who we telepathically connect with, like in real time, that lives in India. I believe last time we checked in with her, oh gosh, what was she at? She was like at 16 something percent. And she's like telepathically like connecting with people all over the place. So yeah, pretty awesome. Okay, that's cool. All right, our buddy John. Thank you. A general. Okay, we could do that. Shannon, hello, and welcome. Whoa, my goodness, my cards are like all over the place. Jolene is here. Hello. Patrick said 19%. Cool. Love it. Excellent. Oh, right. And Kayla as well for being a magic member, a KWT tribe member. Thank you for so long. Thank you so much. Okay, and Alasa, we are doing super chats and super stickers. So yeah, if you would like a question answer, we're just doing those to have an even energetic exchange. Of course, if there's people that you don't want your business all over the internet during a live chat, I also have my website too. So if you want more like a personal reading, I have one cards, but I also have longer in-depth readings. I also have channelings on there if you're interested. But all of that is down below in case you are indeed interested. Okay. So, John, let's tap in. Let's see if I get anything before I pull a card. Okay. This is going to sound weird, John, but when does it not sound weird? I was just seeing somebody dressed up in a bunny suit. Like like at Easter time, like you see people dressed up like the Easter bunny. They got the big like Easter bunny head, and they're like, what do the people call them? Furries? But yeah, it was weird. I just saw somebody like dressed up in a bunny suit, like hopping around. I was like, what? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Jillian said that is an amazing outfit. So cool today. Well, thank you. Okay, so let's see. No wonder I was seeing somebody dressed up in a bunny suit. All right, so we have playtime. Fun is calling you. And that makes sense. Somebody playing dress up. Okay, so okay. So John, this is going to kind of go along with what I'm going to be sharing with you guys after this, what James and I were doing with our healing yesterday. And ever since we figured out this new way of healing yesterday, the matrix has been coming at us like full throttle, which is probably why there are so many people in the chat today that we don't normally get. We don't normally get people that like aren't interested in our actual chat coming in today, and and bots and things like that. And it's just been like the matrix is just it's really pissed off with what we did, which means that we're headed in the right direction. So I'm cool with it. Whatevs. It even there was even like some animals that like were sent our way that weren't like part of our normal forest animals, that were like trying to distract us from what we were doing. So I think that that's why it's really important that I share it with you guys. But basically, I know that sometimes healing can feel like a very serious business. I'm seriously looking at my shadows, my traumas, my programming. I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to raise my vibration. And yes, that can be very serious business. But also, we have to remember that as much as we may feel like imprisoned here, this is also a school. It's also a place to play. It's so many things. Rarely in this world is anything just one thing. Everything is a layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. And so as you're doing your healing, also have fun with it. As you unlock new things, try to have as much fun as possible. If you have learned to, manifest like crazy, then have fun with your manifestations. If you have, you have a new personality trait that came through that was hidden because of a particular programming or, thing like that, then have fun with that new personality trait, or something else that now you no longer have fear about. Maybe you had fear of roller coasters, but it really wasn't roller coasters, is what it represented. And it was some sort of trauma, that was some sort of past life experience that was also part of some childhood thing. But now that you've healed it, you don't have a fear of roller coasters anymore. Then by all means, go ride a roller coaster and go have some fun. So this is the time, especially with all this wacky energy that's happening, and like our friend Joy was talking about, all the crazy synchronicities. This is really time to have fun too. So don't forget that, yes, there's times to be serious with our healing journey, but as we heal, don't forget that you're a human, having a human experience, and to give yourself a little time to have fun. I don't think really I have to twist your arm, John, about that, because it seems like you have a lot of fun already, but this is just a reminder that it's okay. I know that sometimes we may feel like, oh, if I have fun, then I'm off my spiritual path, that I'm not trying to continually to help myself. No, it's just that we realize that we're dualistic. Actually, we're multidimensional, if you want to look at it that way. And we have to have a little fun from time to time, as well as, yes, there are times to be serious, but there's got to be a good balance. All right. Heather is here. Thank you again for all the people getting these super chats and super stickers. John's like, oh, things coming at me nonstop. Sign me up. Nice. And Jolene says, you can connect to more than one deity, I guess, not just Jesus. That just limits you. Answering for the comments below. Yes, and remembering too, just from my own point of view, that everyone and everything is a part of us, and of course that's my personal belief. I know that some people have other beliefs, and I welcome them too. Yeah, and so very, very good. You guys are all amazeballs. Cosmic Conversation says full moon would be nice. Okay, so oh yeah, that's right, our friend Cosmic and Kayla, got to pull a card for you guys as well. So Kayla, let's see if you had a question, I'd be more than happy to pull you a card. And Cosmic, let me just see if you had a question as well. Silver Star's like, well, definitely in alignment with this energy. Wild. I know, right? And John said, fun is our natural state. That's why children play and expand their consciousness so fast. Thank you. Exactly. Exactly. And I feel like maybe, just maybe, in the Matrix world, they try to tell us that when you reach a certain age, there's no more fun, there's no more of that, and perhaps it's to stunt our spiritual growth, perhaps it's to stop us from truly expanding and growing, to take away that portion of us that was actually so integral to our growth as children, but also as adults. So very cool. All right, so Kayla would like a general message. And then Cosmic is going to be finding her message as well. All right, excellent. Okay, so Kayla, let's tap in. And thank you, by the way, for being yourself. You are amazeballs. Okay, Kayla, I don't know if you ever played, sorry, just kicked the thing. I don't know if you've ever played with Gem and the Holograms. Do you remember that 80s cartoon? There's a Gem, da-da-da-da. You know, she's like the singer with her like singer friends, and they get into all these crazy shenanigans. I also had a Gem doll, but anyway, so that's all I was seeing. I was seeing Gem and the Holograms like singing and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, let's pull a card and see like what the heck that means. So Jolene is just chilling here and hanging out with us today. Love you too, Kayla. All right. Gem and the Holograms. What does that have to do with anything? Let's see. Mystery, things you cannot explain. Well, what I loved about Gem and the Holograms when I was a little kid is that they kind of were like the flashy, I think they were supposed to be like from Beverly Hills, but like flashy, like pop stars that also got into like Scooby-Doo type adventures. There was always some mystery. Okay, sorry, we're back again. Okay, wow, the Matrix is really pulling out all the stops. All right, so I know that you are a very self-aware type person. I know that you do a lot of healing. I know that you do your meditations, you are always reflecting, you're always trying to heal things, you're always going inwards. And it says there are some things that you try to get guidance on, like if I do this, what would be the result, here? Or, what will this look like a week from now? Or what will it look like tomorrow? And it said sometimes there are certain things that your higher self just doesn't want you to see at the time. And it's not to like keep secrets from you and to be like, oh, Kayla, you don't deserve to, see this or that. But sometimes that takes the fun out of your free will decision making. So let's say, for instance, your higher self says, oh, okay, well, on this particular timeline, this and this and this is going to happen to you, Kayla, and this and this and this. Now that your ego has also heard it, as well as your higher self telling you it, your ego is going to try to just make those particular things happen. And so since the ego doesn't really understand how energy works, it's it's going to try in its very third dimensional way to try to make what the higher self said happen, which may inadvertently put you on a different timeline. And so, and like I said, there's an infinite number of timelines. So now you're on this timeline over here. So by the time your higher self said certain quote unquote thing was supposed to happen, but you're like, but now it didn't happen. Well, that's because now it was I guess kind of like a blocking of yourself, limiting yourself, saying that only this thing is going to happen for you is a limitation. And your higher self isn't trying to limit you at this time. Like I said, there's massive healing happening for the entire collective, whether people consider them religious or spiritual or not, or whatever it may be. People are changing, people are healing, people are shifting. And so to say that this one thing is going to happen to you and this is going to happen for you is to put a limitation on your free will and your ability to have fun in your manifestation, and so that it's always an open-ended storybook for you, so that as you're healing, you could say, I want to eventually reach this goal, or I want to have that happen, but hey, whatever Goldilocks adventure or Alice in Wonderland adventure I want to have along the way, I'm open to it. And so that's more what your higher self is trying to do with you at this time. So if it's been a little frustrating trying to get a straight answer from your higher self, yourself about like, well, I just want to know like what would happen if I do this. Your higher self's like, I just don't want to give you an answer because that's just one timeline of an infinite number of timelines. So, you know, your higher self's really wanting you to play, just like I was talking about with John. And maybe this is just a message for all of us. This is playtime, you guys. Yes, it's healing. Yes, we got to be serious, but this is playtime as well. And we don't want to limit our timelines and what we're capable of, because this is about expansion at this time and it's not about limitation. So, alrighty. Maze balls, Kayla. Okay, so Cosmic said, OMG, yes, I'm taking development psychology, and the way childhood has been seen for centuries has been very degrading and non-existent. At a certain age, we are expected of things very interesting. Yes, yes. Susie says, glad you made it, Jolene. Okay, so Cosmic, so you want a reading on the full moon and I guess anything else that pops up? Alrighty, Lily is here. Hello. Hello, hello. Susie says Tara is going to be using her kitty Ouija board today. We certainly will. Lulu says, OMG, I love, love, love the fits. Looking great. Homestead life is doing greatness. Heck yeah. And John says, I feel like we've shifted timelines a few times since the start of this stream, and that is a neutral thing for us, diffuser, if we relax and have fun. Exactly. Kayla said, this helps so much. Thank you. You're very welcome, my friend. John's like, diffuser is specially. Okay, so cosmic conversations. Let's pull you a full moon message. That full moon in fishy Pisces. Yes, Lily, we are doing our super chats and super stickers if you want to get in on it, get in on the action. Okay, so cosmic, let me just see if I get anything before I pull a card. Okay, wow. This is not a show that I actually watched. This is a show my brother watched. So that's interesting that this is popping in. So I was just trying to tap into full moon energy. But like I said, sometimes I see things that are, or hear things that are like pieces of TV shows or songs. That's just how I get my intuition. But I was seeing the cartoon Speed Racer. You know, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go. So yeah, Speed Racer. And by the way, if you want to have cool ass emojis like Kayla has, that is a part of my YouTube members. They get special emojis. And I don't know if it's time. I don't think when I get to a certain number of members, I'm allowed to create more emojis for them. So yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I don't know. Superstar says, our ancestors knew it took a village to raise a child. Most people don't have that support that's needed for it to be possible to let their children be children. It's sad. Yeah, but you know what? I have noticed that there are more communities coming together, even in cities, like homeschooling communities, where it's not just homeschooling out, you know, just their parents' house, but now there's lots of parents coming together. And I think that this is wonderful. More people coming together to help each other with their children, to offer their guidance and support, to let you know that it's not just, you know, you and your partner, but it's the whole community. And I think this is part of the shift, and I think it's beautiful. Lily says, of course you can count me in. One moment. Okay, so yeah, cosmic conversations. We had Speed Racer coming in. And then we have the threshold. Shall you dare? Shall you dare? Okay, so let's tap into this. Okay, so surrounding the energy of the full moon. So I would say that would be now. I feel like the few days leading up to the full moon and the few days after the full moon, or whatever moon phase it may be, I feel like energy kind of just blends into the next energy. It's not, today's the full moon, now it's no longer a full moon. You know, it's to me a very amorphous type energy. It's blending and bleeding, you know, into the next. And around this energy for you specifically, this is about diving into healing and looking at parts of the self that may be seen as quite scary. But, you know, just like a little speed racer in his car, sometimes, you know, I think any of us going like 200 or 300 miles an hour in a car is going to seem quite scary. And that may be how it feels sometimes when you are healing, that it's like, whoa, things are just happening so fast. Can I just like pump the brakes for just a second? But your higher self is saying, you got this. No, we don't need to pump the brakes. Just keep riding it. Enjoy the ride. And around this full moon energy, whatever is coming up for you, remember that if there is a avoidance or a discomfort or a, I don't really want to look at that, or that makes me feel bad about myself, that's not really you that's saying that. That's part of the ego. And why is it doing that? Is because it wants to hold on to that old identity. The ego is not evil. It's not malicious. Yes, it is part of a matrix, but its only program is to keep you here in the matrix. So if that's the way it's programmed, of course it's going to be resistant to anything that's different or changing, or something that it tried to stay hidden from you, is because in a way it thinks it's protecting you by saying, don't look at that shadow, don't look at that trauma, don't look at that program. That's difficult, that's hard, you don't want to look at that. And the only reason being is because it knows that if you look at it, you're probably going to heal it, which probably means that you're going to shift your energy. New things are going to come into your life. And newness and change are very scary for the ego, because it has like kind of a one-track mind. It's got blinders on it. It just knows, for cosmic conversations, I'm programmed to do this with her, and I'm programmed to keep her in this like one particular timeline. Like that's just my programming. But you're breaking free of that programming. So just be gentle with yourself. Hello, hummingbird. Hello. There's a hummingbird right behind the camera, so that should be another message for you. It's okay that, you know, these feelings are coming up. Acknowledge the ego. Say, I understand why you feel anxious. I understand why you're feeling so much discomfort with this particular shadow or this particular programming or trauma, whatever it is. I understand. I acknowledge your feelings. Let's actually look into your feelings, ego. Why are you feeling this way? And the ego would be happy to show you, which inadvertently is also going to help with your healing. So I feel like I said, difficult things for the ego will come up around this full moon, but that's just an opportunity for you to acknowledge what it's trying to say to you, find out where it's getting those feelings from, and you have a massive, like this is a huge step forward for you, this next chunk that you're going to be addressing, you know, and it is just a journey. So it's just another layer, another chunk, but it feels like this is a big chunk that you're going to be looking into. Cosmic is over there laughing, says, I definitely agree, the loss of spirit. Yes. All right. Okay, dokie. So thank you for people doing super chats and super stickers. So those new people coming into the chat, so at this time we're doing super chats and super stickers for a one card reading. So if you are interested, we just ask for a energetic exchange. And for those people who, again, would not want their business all over the internet, I do readings through my website. You can definitely check that out as well. Okay, so Lily has her question. Excellent. Cosmic says, oh wow, thanks. Already moving so many things around. Yeah, definitely. And sending you tons of love in the process. Okay, so Lily said, my grandson is 3 years old and for the moment has been diagnosed with level 3 autism. It's the nonverbal kind. Are you able to channel him? Can you channel his baby higher self here? He's here sleeping with me and his name is Noir. Okay, we will take a look at that. And actually, when I was getting my teaching credential, I was a tutor for a boy with autism, and he had nonverbal autism. So I am very familiar. I worked with him for, it was like a couple of years actually. Okay, let's see. Let's tap in to little Nor. Okay. Okay. He's got a silly personality. Okay. At first he was showing me like slices of cheese, and I was like, cheese? Like physically, do you want some cheese? And he kind of like shrugged his shoulders like I could have some cheese, but then he was smiling. He was like, and I was like, oh, cheese, like say cheese. And so he was saying that he really connects to people, like not just the people that are closest to him, but just people through smiles. And he's saying that he's less listening to the words people say, although he completely understands, what people are saying with their words. But he says, since he is more energetic and he speaks through energy, he says, oh wow, my ear is ringing. He's saying that he speaks through his facial expressions. Like he says, that's how I'm trying to communicate. And although maybe some of my facial expressions might be a bit limited, I'm looking at the mirrors around me, which are the people closest to him as well as strangers, to look at which energy that particular facial expression goes with. So when he sees the smile, like cheese, he says, I know kind of what energy that person is in. And he knows that a smile could be 1,000 different meanings, but he's kind of learned to already at the tender age of 3, learn to distinguish what those different energies, those 1,000 ways of speaking through a smile mean. He says he also knows when a smile is not genuine, but he also understands the energy behind that non-genuine smile, that sometimes people are trying to hold something back from themselves and sometimes holding something back from him. But he says, you can't really hold things back from me. It's like, he says, adults seem to think that if they don't say something around me, that I'm not going to hear it. He says, I hear exactly what you're saying in your energy all the time. And he says the reason he likes the smile is because, and especially a genuine smile, and he says that's when people are totally connected to their heart space. And that's when like the flood of information comes pouring out, is through a smile. So even if you're just smiling at him like, oh, hey, little man, how are you doing? He says it's more about everything that you are about, everything that you're feeling, where you're at right now in your life is all coming flooding forward through that smile. And so that's why he appreciates them so much. So, but like he said, he's also trying to look at all, he's so interested in everybody's facial expressions, like how your eyes may squint or they open up really wide, or like what your eyebrows do, or the way our cheeks or our jaws move and things like that. He says, I'm looking at all those things and connecting it to the energy that I feel from you. So that's how he's learning to really understand. He says like true language is beyond what people are saying and more the energy behind their expressions. And he finds it interesting, like he said, when people are being disingenuine, like there's a smile, but they're not actually happy, or they're not actually, he says, but there's so much to that as well. And he finds that fascinating. He says, you really can't hide anything from me. He says, I know how everybody feels. I know where everybody is in their frequency. And so he's saying he would love to have people in the family and maybe even strangers on the street try to connect to him more on an energetic level. He says, yes, you can keep speaking to me verbally, you can keep doing things physically, but energetically, he says, really tap in and then tap into me and see if we can't connect our energy this way, because he loves speaking the language of energy. But I just want to pull a card to confirm that that is indeed what he is saying. And seems like that is so. So we have ghosts and it says from another world. This is basically just representation of the energy. So it's less your words, it's less your physical actions, but he does find it interesting what your face does and what everybody's face does as it connects to how they're feeling and where they are energetically speaking, what they're actually trying to convey and what they're trying not to convey. He says, but I see it all. I hear it all. So, all right. Thank you so much, Lily. And by the way, he is a wonderful, wonderful energy. Cameron is also here. Hello, Cameron. Lily says, ah, so you get it. Yes. Level number 9. Yes, we're doing super chats and super stickers if you are interested. Yeah, so just let me know what your question is. Thank you so much, by the way, level 9. And thank you, Lily, for letting me tap into your adorable grandson. Says, yes, what is it within him that sticks of trees? He really chooses his big stick, like he has a process and walks around like Thor with his hammer. So yeah, for him, everything is energy. So when he's, it seems like the reason he likes the bigger sticks is he's very tactile as well. So he's looking for all these different ways to connect to energy. So whether he's like, well, there's sticks all over this ground. So whether he's grabbing a stick here, he's actually talking to trees and the way trees communicate, which is energetically, they communicate through their root system, but like the energetic root systems as well. So like the tree here could definitely connect to a tree, let's say in Indonesia, and that's how they communicate. So that's how, without him physically leaving a place, he connects to everything all over the world, as he's learning from the trees at the moment, just as much as he's learning about facial expressions and the energy behind them. Oh, Susie says 9/11. Oh, hey, it's my number. Lucy is also here. Welcome, welcome. Jillian says, hope you all have a good continuation of your day. All right, you have to go take a nappy nap. So have a good night's sleep. Bye, Jolene. We love having you here. Silver Star says, this chat style is more like IG. It's definitely taking getting used to. I know, right? I'm like, okay, so level number 9 says, love your channelings and really desire to awaken my psychic abilities. I am new to meditation and have been using the gateway tapes from the Monroe Institute for about a month now. Well, thank you. And that is fabulous. All that you've been doing. I always highly encourage people to get into some sort of meditative practice to really connect to your inner self. I'm sure there's other ways. For me, that's the only way I know. But yeah, that's wonderful. All right. Yeah, so let me know what your question is. I'd be happy to pull you a card. And you know what? I'm going to have a little sip of water in the meantime. Lily says, wow, thank you. Makes so much sense. I caught him sitting on the floor and rubbing himself with the leaf from his head, face, and chest. Exactly. He is connecting to, wow. You know what? I noticed that too. Because I mean, I was a tutor for a boy with autism, but I worked with several children that had autism, more as like an assistant teacher at the time before I became like a teacher. And I noticed that nature, not just animals, but like really plants. It was like plants and trees and flowers. It's the way they speak seems to really help children that have issues with like verbal development, you know, in the human sense. But they speak in an energetic language. And I think that plants and trees and flowers and all of that, they have a way of speaking that's more in alignment with them. So I just find that so fascinating. That's wonderful. Okay, so level 9 says, what will be the result of using these meditations and, oh, the tarot cards, sure. It says appeared, they were all negative. Oh, so you pulled some tarot cards. You said they appeared all negative. May you please do a reading on whether this form of meditation is appropriate for me, and in general, how do I awaken my psychic abilities? Okay, we can take a little look at that for sure. Silver Star says, they are so special. I have a few kids in my life that are on the spectrum, and they are just the most beautiful kids. So beautiful, so wonderful. Okay, so level number 9. Let's take a look. Just the cards, the meditations. Okay, so before I pull a card, I was just tapping into your energy, and just, even though we're all energetic beings, I mean, we all have a soul, you know, therefore, and that soul being made of energy, that means that we're all energetic beings and we can all connect energetically. And although each of us may have our strength when it comes to our energetic ability, or some people call it psychic ability, I feel that we have the ability to embrace all aspects of, let's say, psychic ability or energetic ability. It's just that we might have to strengthen the other aspects. We just don't use the other parts of us too much. So where one person might be more clairaudient, where they get a lot of their messages by hearing more in the 4th dimension, more than in the 3rd dimension. Maybe they hear a song in their head, they hear somebody say something or a word. Perhaps that's their strongest ability, and maybe not so strong in clairvoyance. Doesn't mean they're not clairvoyant. It just means that that skill hasn't been strengthened yet, because like I said, we're all multidimensional energetic beings. But at this moment in time, it seems like you're really good with, the reason I brought up hearing was it is hearing. It's like sometimes you might hear something and you might try to look for an actual 3D source. Like, I could have sworn somebody just said, or I could have swore I heard, or, you know, I'm hearing a song in my head, you know, so something like that. That would be more like your clairaudience. The other one was feeling more, like, let's say you walk into a room and it's like, you know, I don't know, this room just gives me the creeps, or I feel really at home in this room. So it's more your feeling type ability. So I believe that's clairsentience. And then there's the clairaudience. But like I said, you have the ability to be a whole spectrum of, you know, energetic ability, but it seems like those are your 2 strongest at the moment. So when you're using the cards, it might be less, like, let's say, well, actually, I'm going to pull your card right now. Here it says Earth. You gain what you work for. Just like we were. Okay, so I'll give you the message for that in just a moment. But let's say this was you're pulling cards, and let's say you pull this card. You might be trying to tap in with clairvoyance, like trying to get a message in your mind. And if it's not coming through, it might be it's time to try a different avenue. Let's see if I hear something. So I'm gonna wait till like a song pops in my head. So it may not be, how do I want to describe clairaudience? You're not really physically hearing something, but it's more like a sound in your head, if that makes sense. Like the ringing of a bell. I don't actually hear a bell ringing, but you know, it's kind of in my head, like a ringing of a bell. And this is kind of the way your intuition is trying to speak to you. Like, so for me, I'm very clairvoyant. I mean, I'm working on all my different clairs, but my clairvoyance is my strongest. And what's been coming up is also my claircognizance. But So look at what your strengths are at the moment. So if you're hearing something, like you look at this and all of a sudden you start hearing like, I know, a song from like the Monkees, you know, from back in the 60s, you know, hey, hey, we're the Monkees. Like, let's say you hear that and you're like, oh, but that doesn't have anything to do with this card, but that's how your intuition is trying to speak to you. But like I also said, you have a type of feeling type sense, that clairsentience. So let's say you look at this card and like you feel like, oh, like you were saying about your tarot cards, you said that they were very negative feeling. So then after that, instead of saying, ooh, there's something negative here, this is more your intuition trying to tell you about something that is just in need of looking at. So if you feel negative about something, why do I feel uncomfortable right now? Why do I feel negative right now? And this is where your meditations are going to come in handy, the ones that you've been taking, is now I can go inwards. Why do I feel like a nervousness, or why do I feel like these cards were negative at the moment? And it may be just something that's coming to the surface, something from a long time ago, could have been from childhood, that's just in need of looking at the moment. And it was less the cards. In fact, I think these are just permission slips for us to, you know, tap into our intuition. You know, they're just little pieces of cardboard, or cardstock, whatever. But definitely allow your intuition to speak to you how it wants to speak to you. So if you start hearing a song in your head, go with it. What does this mean for me? Maybe even journal it. If I'm feeling kind of funky about it, then that's when you get to employ your new meditation skills. I get to go inwards. And why do I feel a little funky? And it might actually bring up something that's totally unrelated, but you wouldn't have known about it had you not used the cards, had you not used your intuition. So I think that you are on the right path. I think you're doing some wonderful things. I don't think this is, you know, that you're going to forever use, you know, this particular type of meditation, or that you're going to forever just use those particular type of psychic skills or energetic skills. But eventually they will evolve. But I say, work with what you have right now, and just let them grow as they do. You know, your meditation practice is going to shift and change eventually. But I think that you're at a good place right now. I think that you have a good start. So, yeah. Yeah. So then I was going to say about the card. This just goes along with everything that you're doing right now, where it says you gain what you work for. Continue working with your meditation. It's a meditation practice. You know, I come across a lot of people who say, oh, I tried meditation, it doesn't work for me. And it's like, well, it's a practice though. Like for me, it took me like 2 years to like really finally like feel like meditation is working for me. So don't be discouraged. You know, it's something that we got to keep trying again and again. Even though like I had ways of sensing things when I was little, I never really like tried working with them. You know, I kind of thought that, I don't know what I thought. I thought that like if you were psychic, like, I don't know, I was going to start seeing like signs and symbols in the air, like physically, or I was like physically going to start seeing ghosts or something like that. But it's just not the way it happened for me. And I had to go with what my strengths were for me to really evolve in all my other strengths. So, all right, hopefully this makes sense. Let's go back here. Oh my goodness. Oh, lots of comments. And Angela's here. Hello. She says, blessings, everyone. Sending you all hugs today. May everything be bright and joyful in your lives today. Amen. Amen, sister. Joleen's like, I'm back. Sorry. It meant that I would chop some wood. Oh, I thought you were going to go take a nap. Well, welcome back. Angela said, an extra blessings of rainbows and cake for Tara. We are grateful for you making our world brighter. We love you. Amen. Amen to you guys. You guys make my life brighter. Jolene says, feels like it's not my time these weeks, so I just lay back. Nice. John says, my ears started ringing really loud just now. I was thinking about clairtangency. It's a physical sensation. Oh, okay, maybe that's what I was trying to say. Maybe you have a chain of clair where you have a trigger, then other information comes in. Very true. This is especially at the beginning. It can be difficult to trust yourself to follow the clues. It feels like it's in your head because that's where your third eye and crown chakras are. That's very true. It took me a long time to trust my intuition. It was like, I feel that way, but my brain is saying that that doesn't make any sense. And then it turns out my intuition was right. And I'd be like, foiled again by my ego. But then I would do it again and again and again until one day I was like, you know what? I've been foiled by my ego so much. Maybe I should actually listen to my intuition. And you know what? It's not failed me since then. So, and it's never failed me. Lily says, okay, now me. All right. Okay, she says, can you see what I should truly focus on this month? My ADD has me staring into the void. I just want one mission to accomplish, list written. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it, girlfriend. Okay, one thing to focus on this month. Okay, I heard a song come in. Talk about clairaudience. It's Miley Cyrus's I Came In Like a Wrecking Ball. I'm like, what the heck? Okay, so let's pull you a card. I don't even know how that's going to relate, but we'll see about it. Okay, so we have blessings, prayers heard. Okay. So your higher self does have some homework for you. You do have a task, but I think it's going to be a fun task for you. So this is less adding something to your to-do list. This is less you driving somewhere or building something. This is more you could be sitting, you could be going out for a walk. Heck, you could be going running or swinging on a swing. It doesn't matter. Whatever's comfortable for you. And reflecting on trying to see yourself at 16, or to see yourself at 10, or to see yourself at 5. Basically, choose an age and go back and try to see yourself in all of its entirety. What did I like back then? What did I love back then? Who or what did I have a crush on if you were at an age of having crushes? What did I fear back then? What was giving me anxiety back then? What were my worries? What did I feel really, really scared of? Maybe it was going to the neighbor's house, old man Craigie, whatever it may be, so that you can start to see how much you've grown and how much you've changed and evolved. And sometimes that's really hard to see because we're just kind of bumbling along and living our lives, that we don't really see how we change. We always just kind of have this view of ourselves. Like for me, sometimes when I think of myself, like it's like, who is Tara? Like, who is she? I always just think I'm that same like goofy, like 17 or 18-year-old. But if I really look at me at 17 or 18, everything that I loved, everything that I thought about, everything I thought I was going to be, everything that I feared, I'm like, actually, I don't resonate with a lot of that anymore. Even though in my brain, that's my mental image of myself. But even though there are still parts that truly are still me, that they've just never changed. A lot of my beliefs have changed. My belief about myself, my self-esteem, my confidence, my trust in my own intuition has changed. I'm saying like go layer by layer, go deep with it, not just physical, but spiritually speaking, energetically speaking, emotionally speaking, mentally speaking. How are you different than you were at that age? And it says that your higher self really wants you to do this so that you can start to really appreciate who you are now, show gratitude. Thank you for the journey. Thank you for, all that came up in between that era and now to help me become the person that I am now. And this gives me hope so that, next time I look at myself when I'm, let's say, 85, and I'm looking back at me when I was 43, like, wow, I thought I had the whole world figured out. I thought I really knew it. And it's like, wow, the journey is just so great. So again, this is less something to put on your to-do list and more something fun and something that your higher self feels you really need for your growth, is to be able to reflect on everything you were at that particular age. You don't have to go through all the ages, but just for this month, your higher self saying, just pick one age, whatever age comes to mind, whether, like I said, like it was 5, 10, 25, whatever it may be. Just go back to it and try to really analyze yourself as if you were looking at a stranger. Really analyze this human being. And now let's compare and contrast. Let's see how far we've grown, and let's appreciate that journey. Let's send gratitude. And sure, it's not always been an easy journey, but think about where all those pitfalls actually led to, what type of growth actually came from that, so that we can appreciate more the times that we struggle, knowing that it's going to be for our best and highest good, even if we don't see it right now in this moment in time. And also for the good things that happen, the things that we see as more of a positive, how that also aided me into where I am right now. So yeah. Alrighty then, excellent. Let's go back. Angela spreading her love. Silverstar says, I'm going to head out. Love to you all. Hope your day is beautiful. Thank you for all you've done for us. May we, over the years, watching all of us grow has been a joy. I hope you have a beautiful day, sister. Angela says, blessings, Silverstar. Wishing you the best and most beautiful day. Wishing you love and hugs and light your day. Amen. Thank you, Susie, for always reminding people to spread the love. Level 9 says, thank you so much. One day I aspire to be as great as you. I'm a life coach, and enhancing my abilities will really benefit my clients. Well, thank you. But you know what I say? Don't worry about me. Aspire to be as great as your higher self. You are on a unique journey, and I think that even though we can be mirrors for each other, I think that you have something beautiful to offer that I can't offer. And so I say focus on that. You're a beautiful person. Angela says, it's time for me to head out. See you all later. If you're still here, bless you all and love you all. May you find your joy in rainbows today. Remember, you're all so loved and we'll all be okay. I love you all. Love you, Angela. Oh, Lily said her phone died, so she'll be back. Level 9 says, Level number 9 says, I remember you did a channeling of Steve Jobs, but I can't find it in your channel. Did I hallucinate? We haven't done a channeling on Steve Jobs yet, but we do have it on our channeling list. Trying to think of who. We did one on Elon Musk, maybe, if that's who you're thinking. Oh, Lucy, I'd be happy to pull you a card. Yeah, so just let me know what your question is. Be happy to pull you a card there. Okay, I'm gonna get these all shuffled up. Yes, yes, Blue Jay, what's up? Yeah, you cray cray. Alrighty, just re-situate myself. Lucy says, I would like a reading. I don't know. I think about my relationships. Okay. All right. Let's take a look ski. Okay, Lucy, I don't know if you've ever listened to the group En Vogue. This is like, what year is this? This is the 90s, like early 90s, going on into the mid 90s. And it was a song that was playing in my head from En Vogue. And it was, hold on to your love. Oh, you got to hold on to your love. So anyway, that song started playing. We'll see what happens when we pull the card here. Lucy's over there laughing. Okay. Oh, you also got the full moon card. Dark lighted magic in the air. Okay. Lucy says she doesn't know that song. I would say go into YouTube, type in En Vogue, and type in, oh, what's the name of the song? I think it's just Hold On. Hold On is the name of the song. I don't know. I loved it back when I was like a teenager. But anyway, so about relationships. And I think this is why this song was coming in. So in the song, the girls are talking about, they're singing about a guy, that if you have like this great relationship with a guy, you really got to hold on to the love. But what your higher self is saying, okay, like let's take the person, our partner, person, whatever, out of the equation, and let's look at love in general. What is love? Well, in the 3D, we translated love into like, I love trees, I love ice cream, I love James, I love, all of these things. But love is actually a frequency. And so we've kind of just put a word to our feeling that we have, this frequency that we have. But we also have love for self. And well, this love frequency is actually what everything is made of. Our essence is made of love. Although that may not be the way it's described in the third dimension, love is source itself. It's a frequency. And oftentimes when we feel that frequency with another, we say, I am in love, with this person. But also your higher self is saying at this time, before we look at relationships, you have to look at the relationship with yourself. When you look at yourself in the mirror, do you feel like you have that same, I'm in love with you, I love you so much type energy that you would with a partner? Why or why not? This is really good for journaling, your higher self is saying. And we're not doing any sort of shame or blame or any of that. This is more just look at it neutrally. How do I feel about myself when I look in the mirror? How do I feel about myself when I think about myself, when I think about who I am and my character, and what words, what adjectives would I use to describe myself? Would any of them be love? And so if we're looking to come into a relationship with somebody that we consider our other half, this means that we have to be able to look at ourselves as a whole and complete loved human being before we can be an energetic match for somebody else who is also a full and whole loved human being. That sometimes it's very difficult, where if we don't have love for ourselves, and this is something that was said during the Chester Bennington channeling, which was last Monday. So if you didn't see it, definitely check out the channel, look under Chester Bennington. At the very end of the channeling, he was saying, it doesn't matter how great the partner is that comes into our life. They could be your twin flame. They could be your soulmate. They could be, the most wonderful, loving, kind human being in the whole world. But if we're missing that love for self, that relationship is going to suffer, because the energetic exchange is not equal. Because you're saying, I'm looking for love outside of myself because I do not feel love within myself. Now, however, it's different if we say, I love myself for all of my journey, everything. I know that I have shadow. I know that I have light. I have all these things, but I also know that I am the frequency of love, and I love myself fully. I'm not a perfect human being, and that's perfect. That's lovely, and I love it. And so that energy then gets pushed out into the universe. Whoever's an energetic match to that's going to be a pretty solid relationship, because they also love, honor, and respect themselves. They have boundaries themselves. And so when those two loving human beings come together, that's, maybe their relationship lasts, maybe it doesn't, but it's a different type of love. Rather than I'm seeking something outside myself, rather I'm enhancing something I already have, if that makes sense. So I'm just enhancing the love I already have for myself with another human being outside of myself, rather than I'm looking for something I think I lack. So just kind of keep that in mind. And like I said, this is a really good time to do a bit of journaling. How do I feel when I look at myself in the mirror? How do I feel about myself? How do I feel about my journey? How do I feel about myself as a loving partner? If I was to be somebody's partner, What kind of partner do I feel that I am? Why not? Is there anything that needs to be healed? Is there anything that's coming up for me at this time? Maybe stuff about my own parents' relationships are coming up. My parents' relationship to each other, my grandparents' relationship to each other. You know, maybe that's part of how I started taking in, that's how all relationships should be. It should be like mom and dad. It should be like grandma and grandpa, or aunt and uncle, or my best friend and, you know, his or her husband, you know, whatever it may be. So definitely take a look at that. Hope that makes sense. Okay, Lucy says she was going to go find the song. Lily says, yeah, great song, En Vogue. Hold on. Lucy says, I don't have anyone in my life since a few years, in fact. Okay, okay. Oh, and our friend Sharon saying lots of love from the UK. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Lucy saying, okay, thank you. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. All right, you guys. I think that does it for our super chats and super stickers. Okay, how are we doing on time? Excellent. Okay, I have something to share with you guys before we get to our super cute Ouija board, which let me show you. Looks like this. It's a kitty cat Ouija board with my little paw planchette, and we're going to be using this in just a moment, but I felt like I wanted to share something that James and I had done in our meditation, and ever since we tried working on it, which was yesterday, the matrix has been coming at us full force. So like I said, there was animals that don't normally mess with us started messing with us. There was you know, internet stuff going crazy. Like when I tried to start this live chat, it looked like I was on a different planet. There was not even a network to speak of. And even in the chat today, we had a lot of very interesting bots and beings sent by the Matrix to kind of shut it down. But, you know, hey, what ifs? I'm just going to keep doing my thing. Okay, sorry, I'm just charging my phone right now. Susie's like, yes, never seen so many bots in a chat. I was like, I was like, I wonder what the chat's going to look like today because of what happened yesterday. So, okay, here's what happened. James and I were wondering, like, how, you know, we've done all this healing, like, let's say for our shops, we're trying to manifest more income, you know, so that we can continue to, you know, do the things that we want to do up here. We want to create a retreat up here, but that's going to take money. I want to offer healing to people, show people how to heal themselves. So, you know, and every time I've pulled cards, every time we've done meditations, our higher selves are just like, oh, try healing this. And, you know, James is getting very frustrated because he's like, what more healing do we need to do? It seems like we've gone through every blockage. It seems like we've gone through the free will crimes. It seems like we've done a whole lot of past life healing. Like, what's the deal? And so the higher self's like, okay, I understand you've done the healing. But the thing is that every time you heal and raise your frequency, the ego program tries to raise it as well in order to match it, so to continue to block you. James is like, okay, but our soul is multidimensional. It's more powerful than any cube matrix. And this is true because our souls extend beyond the cube matrix. So he's like, what can we do to like overcome the matrix? You know, while also keeping in mind we got to continue our healing and all of this. Like, what do we got to do? Like, he says, do we have to wait till we're at 0% ego to start manipulating the matrix? That seems like ridiculous. Like, why? And so we're like, okay, so my higher self gave this, I think it was like 7 steps. I mean, and I was like, oh, try out this 7-step program. Thanks, higher self. But basically it was like the steps needed to truly manipulate the matrix. So it was like, step 1, figure out what do you want right now. And so let's say you want to manifest a new car. Like, my car is broken, I want a new car. Okay, so step 1, you say, I want a new car. First, you have to find out why you want that car. Not just the 3D reason, but the energetic reason. Why do you feel you need this thing? Is that coming from some sort of shadow? Is it coming from a programming? Is it coming from a trauma? Are you just reenacting a trauma by wanting this particular thing? Okay, so you have to figure out fully, why do you want the thing or the whatever in the first place? Okay, once you do that, I'm trying to remember them in order. I'm glad James wrote them down. I wish I had my paper with me, but whatever. I kind of remember what we did. So we figured out why we wanted the thing. Okay, and once we figured out like what was the underlying motivation for wanting the thing, then we asked the ego, what are your thoughts on this thing? Like what are the blockages? And so the ego could be like, oh, I don't think I can manifest a new car. Things that I always want never happen. Things always break on me, you know, and you write these down if you want, you know, all the programming that's in your ego, just write it all down. I fear that if I just get a new car, it's just going to break too. I never have the money for the things that I want in life. Just write it all down. Write down all the ego's fears. Write it all down. Now try to look at the programming that's within what the ego just told you. So you're using your ego to your advantage, because it'll readily tell you what its programming is. You never get what you want. Everything you want always breaks. You never have enough money, you know, whatever it may be. Just write them all down. Okay. After that, we go inwards and we reprogram it. So I do something called the cube method, which is basically going into the cube matrix Akashic records, which is different than the Akashic records people normally talk about, like for our higher selves. I'm going into the ego's Akashic records to reprogram it. How you do it is up to you. For me, James does it differently than I do, but for me, I have my ego self and I have my higher self in the room of this like matrix Akashic records. I have my ego self pull a book, and in that book it shows me all the programming that's underneath that particular whatever it was that my ego said. Like, I never have enough money. Okay, so it's going to be a money book, right? So all the programming that is under money that has been programmed into me, I take those pages and I throw them in this like rainbow fire that like transmutes them. And then I have my higher self pull the money book and look at all the truth that's really about money. Money flows freely. Money is just energy. Money is just how I feel about myself, abundance. You know, so I'm reprogramming, and I tear that paper out and then I throw it into what is like the universe. So it's like out into the universe. It's out into the collective consciousness. It's now a part of me. And then I have Miss Squirrel, who's actually in my meditation. She's there and she's in this pit of snakes. There's these pit of snakes. And she shows me which snake, basically which wire, like snakes are like wires, which wire is connected to each of those erroneous beliefs. And I take that snake and I transmute it. And I rub, I rub its little snake oil in me, because I understand that what I fear is also my medicine, you know? So that's what I do. And that's my whole cube meditation. So whatever it is that I'm working on, that's what I do in my cube Akashic Records meditation. So then after that meditation, we ask our higher self, show me, based on what I just healed, the number of timelines that would lead me to what I want most. So now we're narrowing it down from infinite number of timelines to, I just did this type of healing based on I want a new car, show me the number of timelines. And now I see, like, let's say 10 different timelines. So now I decide which timeline feels best. And each timeline has a car at the end of it, right? I'm gonna get that car, but I'm going based on all the healing that I've just done. I just reprogrammed my issues with money. I just reprogrammed my feeling that everything I have breaks, you know, whatever the issue was. And you align yourself with that timeline. But instead of saying, boop, I choose that timeline, you have to truly see yourself, your future self in that timeline, have that future self basically come sit into you and you become one with that energy. Basically, your consciousness in the future is now melding with the consciousness that you have here in the present. I I know this is probably like very difficult to understand. We're still understanding it. So anyway, so when that future version of you sits in you, you are now on that timeline and you just trust that it's going to happen because of the healing. But you also have to set the intention that I want every trigger, every opportunity, everything that's needed for me to continue to stay on that timeline, I want that to happen to me. And so now you're more willing to be open to maybe, let's say, less than desirable situations or conflicts or triggers or things that are brought up, you know, shadows that are brought up, because you asked for it. You said, I want them. You're saying this consciously. I want this to happen to me so that I can heal, so that I can stay on this timeline to receive the thing that I want to get. You know, whether it's positive, negative, whatever it may be, I want to stay on this timeline with that future self, and I want to receive that car. And then that's it. That's the end. So, you know, you've basically decided what you want and why. Oh, hey, Lady Miss Squirrel, you startled me there. I thought you were going to climb on me. Goodness. Yeah. So decide what you want and why. Where's it really coming from? What ego programming is saying, you know, whatever it's saying around that object. Go in and heal it in the Cube's Akashic Records. Find the timeline that fits you best. Meld basically with yourself in the future, and then ask for whatever healing needs to come your way is going to come your way. So I think that we would be a little less anxious. Like when certain triggers come, we say, oh, well, you know what? I asked for myself to be triggered. I asked for this healing. So I'm not really mad about it because I know where this eventually leads and I'm cool with it, you know? So I hope that makes sense. Maybe I'm not the best at explaining it, but that's what we did. And it was while we were doing the meditation, there was like these animals that were like making all this noise, like trying to stop us from this meditation. It was so weird. And it wasn't our normal animals. It was like almost like full ego animals that were like being sent by the Matrix. And then weird things were happening internet wise. Weird people calling, internet issues today, weird bots in the chat today. So it seems like the Matrix is so pissed off because it's like, you're not allowed to learn how to manipulate the Matrix. Like, that's not okay. And I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm going to talk about it on the internet. I'm going to use your technology against you. So that's me. Let's see. Oh, Angela says, I thought I'd share a little spell I'm doing with you all. What I do is I pick up a stone, any stone today. I used a white river stone and flowers, and I just picked some flowers along the way and placed them with my doll, Sally, who's with me. Then I took the stone before 8 entered the green spaces, imagined all mine and all my friends who went and helped getting all their troubles and blocks into this rock, and I wish that it be transmuted and healed into good vibes again. And then over the side of the maybe the cliff into the deep water it goes, and I'm now sitting with the flowers and Sally, and I'm ready to go. I'll send the flowers into the stream to bring positive blessings and wishes. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Angela. You are such a beautiful soul. Susie says, we love you, Tara and James. We love you guys. Lily says, yeah, I saw someone in the chat say something about snakes, and then, you know, I get a Susie took the com out because it looks like a weird comment. Yeah. It's been weird. I think that, you know, whenever we really truly hit on something that's like some pretty heavy stuff, the Matrix just throws everything it has at us. But we're not going to stop. It's like, I don't care. We're not going to stop our healing. We're not going to stop spreading what we know. Like, keep sending whatever you want. I don't care. I'm scared of you. Because I have to remember the Matrix also is me. If I am everything, then I have no hatred of anything. You know, if anything, I'm just looking at the Matrix and how it's reacting. I'm trying to understand it, because in doing that, I understand my shadow aspect, which we all have in each of us. So, you know what? They're just showing me more and more so I can understand my shadow aspect more and more. So I have more clarity when I choose the light. Like, All it is help all around. I don't know. Angela says, you're so welcome. If you all want one, just say flower. Flower for me, baby. Very nice. Thank you, Angela. Okay, dokay. Well, let's get to a Ouija board session. I think that would be great. Maybe I should do it on the ground. In which case, or I could do it on my lap and just turn it around. Let's do that. Okay. Can I zoom in? Aha, I can. How about them apples? All right, so I've turned it around so that way you guys can kind of see it. Let me take off my sunglasses just so I can see a little bit better. Okay, so we have our little planchette there. This looks like a little cat's paw. So basically, I just want to, and by the way, you guys voted on this, and I'm so happy to be able to bust it out. Just know that I can't really see the chat too well now because now the camera is pointed down. But let's go ahead and ask some questions about any spirit that might be nearby, which means they probably need to get in line because this whole place is full of spirits. So first of all, let me just put this up here. And what I do with Ouijas, it's less me feeling like something is tugging on the little planchette here. For me, it's more like intuitive. I do everything intuitive. So it's like intuitively, like I'm feeling guidance to go this way, or I'm feeling guidance to go this way. And I'm trying not to really look at what I'm doing so that my ego doesn't get involved. So it's kind of like when I do channeling. I think that's why I close my eyes. I don't want any external 3D information coming in and just wants to be crappy. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to first ask, waiting for a spirit to come through that would like to speak to us, that maybe we can learn a little bit about you. And so I'm feeling there is a child spirit with us. Am I correct in my assertion? All right, so we've gone to the yes. All right, we'll bring this back here. Thank you so much. How old are you? Again, I'm trying to keep my eyes closed just so I don't mess up any sort of connection. Okay, so you see the first one, 4. Okay, 4 years old. Okay, I'm gonna bring this back. Are you, if you are a little boy, you can place this on B. If you are a little girl, you can place this on G. Okay, you're a boy. All right, you're a 4-year-old boy. Okay, connecting to what I know, use what I know to spell out a word. What do you want to say? V. F. J. V, F, J. Are these the initials of your name? No. Okay. Are you trying to spell a word? Yes. Okay. I don't know the word VFJ. Can you try again? V, O, L, okay, VOL is vol. I don't think this is in English. Okay, I understand you. Okay, so vol, that's the first part. So were you trying to say 3 words with VFJ? Yes, okay, okay. So vol, we'll try to translate that language in just a moment. So vol is the first word. Go ahead with the second word. So it's F, A, T, I, M, A. Fatima. Vol, Fatima. Okay. Go ahead with this, your third part of your word. I believe it started with J. J, A, I, J, M, Jaim, Vol, Fatima, Jaim. Well, might have to decode that, perhaps. Well, I've heard the word Fatima before, the name, but I don't know Jaim, unless you're saying James. Are you saying James? No. Okay. So Vol, Fatima, Jaim. Q. Do you have a question? Yes. Okay. What is your question? U, H, E, L. P. You help. Yes, I try to help. We try to help. There are lots of people here try to help. Do you need help? No. Okay. Should we help together? Yes. Okay, so you want to help us together. We would be more than happy to help with you. T. H. K. S. Thanks. Oh, thanks. Oh, THKS. Okay. Thanks. Thanks. Okay. All right. What message of help would you like to offer people watching? L. V. Whoa. That got a little crazy there. V. E. LVE. Love. Do we get our help through love? Yes. Oh, you are a sweetie. Did you used to live here, where I am now? Yes. Okay. If you were Dene, which is Navajo, move to D. If you were Apache, you can move this to A. If you are something different, perhaps you can use a different letter. D. Dene. Oh, okay, so you are Navajo. All right. Did you know Anna? Anna is our friend here. Yes. Are you related to Anna? Oh, now the energy is getting strong. Yes. Okay. Are you Anna's son? Yes. That's why you came to talk to us. Okay, you're Anna's son. All right. You know, there are other people that have found remains on our property other than Anna's. They were holding a baby, the remains of a baby. Do you know these people? Yes. Okay. Were they family? Meaning related to you. No. But you consider everyone family. I feel like that was difficult for you. Yes. Okay. So everybody's family. Okay. Okay. Do you have anything else to share? 5, 5, 5. Okay, I feel like he says goodbye. He is done. Whew, my goodness. Ooh. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Let's come back up here. That was interesting. Wow. Let's see. John said, okay. Oh, somebody. John said, vol is French for flight, as the crow flies. Jane can be a reference to Jainism or a Hindi word meaning saint or overcomer. Fatima can mean to abstain. Wow. I'm so glad you guys could figure out. I felt so bad. I couldn't understand the words. I mean, I'd heard of the name Fatima before, but I'm so glad you guys could help. So Kay, we actually do a super chats and super stickers. If you would like. Excuse me, Susie said, Kay, this is one big message. Yes, so we're just doing the Ouija board, just trying to tap into any energy around here that wanted to have a little chat with us. And it turned out it was a 4-year-old Dene boy, which is a Navajo boy from this area. Anna was his mother. That means that he lived about 400 years ago. We had recently discovered that over by where our well is, we do have more human remains on the property. There's actually a lot of remains here, but there's also a lot of like ceremonial stuff. This was like considered kind of a sacred place. I think this is where they came for healing, where they came for ceremony, which is why we think it's perfect that one day we're going to do hashtag Burning Sage, which is a healing retreat right here where so many of our native ancestors did healing so many years ago here. So John says, so maybe translated to flight or freedom, to abstain, to bring victory. Wow. I'm so glad John is here to help us with some of that translation. That is, whew, that is so cool. That is so cool. I'm so glad this little boy could come through. I mean, I kept seeing him and I was like seeing his spirit, and it was like he was really, like he really wanted to play a game. And I was like, well, I don't know if we have a whole time for a game. And he's like, okay, well then maybe I'll play a game on you later. And I'm like, okay, well go ahead, play a game on me later. It's fine. Angela, I thank you for bringing the good juju into our session today. Thank you so much. And for Manda and everybody who came in today, thank you so very much. I enjoyed doing all of those super chats and super stickers, reading for all of you guys, for being able to do this session and connecting to this very sweet little boy's spirit. Obviously, he said he wants to play a joke on me later. I'll let you guys know maybe next Sunday, like what came of that, like what else occurred. So yeah, I'll let you know. John says, or maybe true freedom is to abstain, which brings victory. Uh-huh. We might have to ask our higher selves to abstain from what? Pray tell. Jolene says, I've been in and out here today, but I'm happy I made it at least some of the time here. Well, we're happy you came as well. And thank you. Thank you to Susie and Heather when she was here for helping me out with the chat today. I think this is the most active that my moderators have had to be in the chat today. So I thank you so much, because it's I just couldn't do it myself, so I thank you very much. And for everybody who's here today, we're gonna do our channeled guided meditation. So if you want a little meditation, go ahead and stick around. And for everybody who maybe still would like a reading today, head over to Instagram. I'm gonna be posting donation readings over on Instagram. So whatever you feel like donating, whether it's $1 or $10, whatever, it's all up to you. It's all about what is comfortable for you. And I'll pull a card over on the Instagrams. My Instagram handle is at Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. I think I have it down below. I think I have the Instagram down below. But yeah, you can send me a DM if you would like to actually set up like a reading, or if you just want a card reading, go ahead and check out my stories on Instagram. I'll try to set that up after the live chat today. But I think it's time that we had ourselves a little meditation. So let me get up here. Okay, the chair just fell. Sorry, I have my little pack because I was down over by the surf and turf table. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this puppy around. Woo, we're turning around. And boop. Okay, it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Jolene's got chair living its own life. You know, it's just living its best life, really. Okay, you guys, let's do ourselves a nice little meditation. Let's get nice and grounded. You know what? Our little boy didn't actually leave. He just kind of finished talking. But it looks like he's still here. So I'm going to invite him in to help us with our meditation. Okay? All right. So I wish I had a name for him. Maybe he'll tell me later. Okay. So I'm just going to have him guide me, but I'll get you guys nice and grounded first. All right. So go ahead and get yourselves into a nice, quiet, peaceful space. Someplace where you will be undisturbed for the next several minutes. You could be outside, perhaps laying in the grass, sitting under a tree. Maybe you're laying on your nice, comfy bed, sitting in your favorite chair, or perhaps you're just seated on the ground. Any place that's comfortable for you. And as you get yourself nice and cozy, go ahead and bring your awareness to your breath. Just feeling that gentle rise and fall of your chest. Making note whether your breath is shallow, perhaps it is deep, perhaps you are breathing quickly or slowly. We are just taking notice. And as you continue breathing, imagine the wind that you probably hear, the breath of the trees, is entering in on your inhales, and all your cause of stress, worry, anxiety is released on your exhales. Breathing in and breathing out. Trying to allow longer exhales than you have inhales. Bringing yourself into a state of comfort and peace. And the little boy who joined us earlier today is asking that you imagine a hawk's feather, that you are holding this hawk's feather. He wants you to gaze at it in all its detail. Every bit that makes up its color, the feel. Make that feather as real as you can in your mind. ala cha e bedishit we hana ana kalvol kalvol chikana we ana ana anavol anavol fonagwe fongwane forngwe para akana ale pakonoe ana e shibishte shibishte we hana hana anavol anavol vol 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 aho in the strength, breathe in the strength of the feather and all that it represents. And to release anything hindering you from your flight, from your progress, from your growth. You are the feather, you are the bird, you are the wind. Ana vol va. Continue breathing. When you feel ready, after feeling this energy within your entire form, go ahead and bring your awareness back into your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, and have yourself a nice stretch. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, you guys. I hope that you had a lovely chat today. It was so fun hanging out with you all. I appreciate and love you all. I wish that I could have taken you guys over to the surf and turf table today, but I think it's really lovely up here too. Plus, we got to connect with our little spirit boyfriend that got to hang out with us. I appreciate him helping us with our meditation as well. Maybe I'll try to separate this meditation, make that its own video for people, because I felt like that one is, well, I mean, I feel they're all special, but that one was pretty special. So anyway, thank you for everybody who did super chats and super stickers, everybody who hung out with us, the mighty moderators. Love you guys. And also everybody who watches our channeling videos, supports us, James and I, and what we do here. And yeah, like I said, you could always check out our shops too. You could check out James's crystal shop, my witchy shop. Yeah, and oh, for the people that wanted a reading and missed out on it during the live chat, I'll make sure that I go over to the Instagram today, and you could still do like one card reading, donation readings over there as well. All right, we have some friends coming in from India. I'm so glad you could make it. John says, love to all. Susie says, thank you. We love and appreciate you. I love you guys. I will catch you next Sunday, coming off the Vibes Mabin. Definitely DM me over on Instagram if you want to let me know how the full moon energy went, how like the eclipse went. Anything you want to share. I love you guys. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.